the 2+2 Pokercast presented by RunItOnce.com. Woo! I am your host,
We're
A.
going to go
Schwartz.
right into it. We don't even... Just right there.
T-Chan, what do you think? RunItOnce.com.
I'm stoked.
Presented by...
I've heard of this site. I think I was listening to an excellent poker podcast last week, or maybe it was two podcasts ago. They talked about, the trials and tribulations of this new site, and I believe the two handsome-looking, well-spoken hosts.
Don't forget Rod. Well, he's the producer.
Yeah,
handsome producer.
The gentleman who run that fine podcast had a lot of intelligent insights to say. But Adam, tell us about the deal. How did you pull the wool over Galfon's eyes? That's pretty impressive. Like,
it's hard, right?
Yeah, I mean he's a sharp dude. You got him to sponsor this thing. Wow.
No, when our relationship came to an end with PokerStars, it was a sad day, of course, because we'd been with them for a long time. If you would have asked, obviously we all didn't know that Run It Once was going to launch a poker site in the new year, like we talked about last week. But if you could hand pick somebody to be a partner with, Phil Galfond and RunItOnce.com is certainly who you would want to, produce a podcast. So we got all kinds of stuff we can do. We can talk to Phil. We can talk to all the coaches. We can do training videos or training giveaways, that kind of stuff. Talk all kinds of strategy. And then, of course, when their site comes on in 2017, we can tailor a bunch of stuff around that.
Yeah.
Fantastic partnership. I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, no disrespect to Lock Poker, who approached us multiple times. And
we almost went with Lock.
It was close, but...
we flipped a coin, really.
But we decided in the end that Galfond and Run It Once was slightly better than Lock Poker as a choice of
Roscoe, we didn't introduce our fantastic producer, Roscoe P. Coltrane.
Hello, boys and girls.
That is a Run It Once drop.
Yep, that is the one and only Odd Oddson.
Not actually Odd Oddson, right?
It's not actually Odd Oddson.
Who is it?
It is a guy named Jedi Master 82. He's also a high-stakes poker player. If you go on YouTube and... It takes a special kind of person to enjoy, I think, that video, because it has a lot of inside jokes. But if you search Oddson with two N's on YouTube, you can find it.
Nice. T, let's talk a little bit about your training. Fight coming up September 17th.
We are 4 days
out.
away. I'm still here. We're still here doing none of that, unfortunately. We're not doing this in Manila. I guess 5 days away. It's the 12th. Today, 5 days away, but still bringing you the show because I love y'all and thank you all for the support.
So you're in weight cut mode. You're in sit on your ass mode.
I'm in weight cut mode, and I mean, I'm not totally sitting on my ass. I'm getting around
comparatively
a little bit, yeah. But yeah, the hard training's done. It's in the books. I'm tapering off. I'm not eating much, so I'm in a surprisingly good mood considering I'm not eating.
You're not hangry. You should be hangry.
I should be hangry. I think I mentioned we mentioned favorite things 2 weeks ago about the fake noodles that have 0 calories. Those are filling my stomach. I'm doing my water load today. I think I just showed you right behind me.
4 liters of water?
No, I got to drink 2 of those, so it's 8 liters of water.
Wow.
So I got to load up on water so that I deplete my water later in the week. I'm on no sodium, so everything tastes super bland. My girlfriend's doing a phenomenal job of using all the spices that don't have any sodium and cooking me some meals, and they've been really quite good. But I'm like, like in like the 1300s when like people had to go to like the Mediterranean and like extract salt and bring it back on horseback and
sail around the world.
Yeah, like salt. If you lived in like Belgium or whatever, like you had to like wait 3 months for your salt shipment and then pay like $9 million and only like the prince of whatever could afford. Like that's me this week. I'm like, man, do I appreciate salt?
You love salt?
I'm gonna get the salt back on Friday, and I'll appreciate it like I'm some 1300s like royalty waiting for Marco Polo to fucking come back.
I see there's a line.
You saw that on Twitter?
Fight. Yeah.
Did you see that on
Twitter? So you are a 165 favorite to the guy you're fighting, Vazlet. What kind of name is Vazlet, by the way?
Apparently Cambodia.
Only because he's not in the room, I'm going to make fun of his name.
Cambodia.
Oh, he's from Cambodia.
Is the answer to that.
He's plus 145, you're minus 165.
According to who?
What's the genesis of this line?
So you know what's really funny is like, people are tweeting at me like, where can I actually bet this? And I'm like, I have no fucking idea. Like maybe at the Hard Rock at the venue with like $100 cap. I don't know. What's the sports betting laws in BC on brick and mortar?
You can't. You can't bet in Canada. You're not allowed to bet on a single event. So
you can bet online though, like because I saw a Play Now. You can bet on.
Yeah, you can bet on. It's through Paddy Power has their stuff.
Yeah,
but also you have to do a parlay, I believe. I don't think you can bet straight games.
So you can take Terrence Chan and the under.
You could parlay T-Chan and
Terrence Chan in the first round.
So if that was an actual line, can you imagine the imbalance the bookie would have
the
on this
action
line?
because
Vaz, I'm sure doesn't have 17,000 professional gamblers.
Steve O'Dwyer and Ike Haxton aren't coming to sit in the front row to watch Vaz, right?
Right.
Ike's
like, where can I get 100K in this?
Yeah, exactly. It'd be funny. Like he's like they're inspecting me like a horse before the Derby. But no, the promoter is a guy named Jay, and he actually he plays poker and he gambles. Okay. He's a dude he just gambles and he likes and he knew. You have to actually give him credit on the social media front. So I think, in my opinion, sorry out there if you're Jay, if you're listening to this, it's not that likely. But he's like bad at social media.
Oh, really?
Like he'll be the guy who tweets at people but spell their Twitter handle wrong.
I'm that guy. Well, occasionally.
Yeah, no. But no. I follow your Twitter. Like, no, he's like the worst. He spelled like Hard Rock Casino wrong like 5 times in the last.
Oh, really?
Should
be doing that
wrong.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do that thing where you have to put like a dot in front of the at tweet. So he's just like at T-Chan Poker is fighting at Vaz Lep.
Yeah.
And so he's just bad at social media. But you got to give him one credit. He knew that I'd share the thing if he posted a betting line.
Oh, did he?
Right?
So he
Because
knew, yeah.
he puts it out there, and then he sends me an email. He's like, "Hey, our social media team," which is just him. Let's be
of course.
real. I mean, I would hope so. It's just a small promotion.
Yeah.
He's like, "We're gonna put out these tweets, retweet it, put something else in your own words, blah blah." And I'm like, "All right, cool. I get the social media thing. Like, I have more followers than all your fighters put together."
Right.
I'm like, but it was funny because I was like, that's actually clever. Like, you want to put a betting line out there,
good.
maybe the action. It's like the Olivier JC thing. It's more exciting when there's a betting line.
So if you're out there, a bookie, and you want to take some action, you're going to get a lot of T-Chan -1.
There's not a lot of juice,
the bookie's
by the way.
That's 20 cents. That's decent size.
Yeah, well, but it's not a
pure,
a pick 'em because it's 20 cents.
Yeah.
So I was like, it was nice of him to not take.
It's not
too
the
much juice.
juiciest. It's not the Caesars line for the November 9 final table.
Yeah. I'm not minus 205 and have the other guy at even, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's not that bad. But I think if somebody's going to book that, they would have to shift that line a little bit towards. Your guy's 0-2, right? He's
0-2.
Not that
he's been around a while.
I'm not trying to diss him, believe me, but I guess the promoter is the guy with the most information, right? Like, That's true.
He's seen the dude fight. He knows who the guy trains with. He's probably the guy with the most information.
And he plays poker, so he has some general idea
he
of a betting
understands
market.
gambling. He probably gambles on fights all the time himself. So if he wants I was even, by the way, at the last fight. And didn't you book action against somebody else who wanted to bet against me at the venue?
I did,
yeah. Was that at evens?
We booked, I can't remember what the line was.
It was quite a bit of money.
Because if you look on I still have the video, and it actually has the way the UFC does it, like underneath
line.
the guy's name, it has I remember we were at evens.
That guy was.
He was 2-0.
Yeah, he was 2-0.
He was 2-0,
and you were 1-0.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So it was a totally fair line as far as we know. He's a bigger guy too.
Right.
So I probably should have been the dog. But so there he is. But in other gambling stories, I've got another one before you. Another sports. We all know that the Pokercast is degenerated between Ross and everything else. We all know this is only a poker show on paper.
It's sports betting show, really.
So I have a friend on Facebook, and I hustle the shit out of it, and I don't feel bad because he's a poker player and he should know better.
He knows.
He's a retired poker player. I mean, he's not a poker player.
Out him! Come on!
I mean, his name's Will. He doesn't know his way
I
in.
thought it was somebody we know. Okay.
But I got him good. He's really into politics these days. He's not in poker scene anymore. I don't even know if he played poker for a living, but he's super into politics.
Okay.
And of course, we all know about the problems Hillary Clinton's got going on. She's apparently dying, or possibly dead already. I'm not sure. By the time you're listening to this, Hillary Clinton may have died, and then you should probably listen to a different podcast. But yeah, he was like saying that Hillary. He was willing to take the field against Hillary at even.
He was willing to take the field. Well,
yeah, so basically President...
Trump.
Well, it's Trump or whoever replaces Hillary, right? Like, if Hillary drops out because she's too sick, and then she's replaced by a Democratic...
Oh, if somebody replaces Hillary, she's a bigger... Or the Democrat is a bigger favorite. almost whoever they
Okay,
pick.
well, on Pinnacle, you could still get the field at plus 175 yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So
you get the field plus 175.
yeah, so I just booked. So he wanted it at even, so I booked 500 at even, and I went around and put 400 on Pinnacle
You
at
hedged it
175, and then there was my 700 probably payout. So if the field wins, I win 200, and if Hillary
awesome.
wins, I win 100. So I mean,
always looking to.
Will, you should know.
You're
that.
just EVs lying around on the street. You're going to pick it up.
Okay, so we all browse Facebook. We all know Facebook's a waste of time, and we should probably be doing something better with it.
Yeah.
But it's literally the #1 post on my feed. Like, I want Hillary at, I want the field at even against Hillary, like anybody else. And I'm like, I'll take as much as, I literally type, I'll take as much as you want. And I'm like, and then I responded, and I was like, 10K max or something like that.
Yeah.
He said, I'll bet 500. I'm like, snap, accept. And
Why would you put a max? Because you can just hedge it all off.
Because I don't think I can bet 10K in Pinnacle.
Oh, I'm sure you can. There's got to be huge for the presidential election?
I have a cash account, so I don't have a.
I mean, you could hit it a couple of times.
I could hit it a couple times, but I think if you bet the cap, it would move. But I think I looked and the cap was like 3K.
But anyway, even if you can hedge it off, it's obviously values.
It's still a good spot. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I probably hedge it off against somebody else.
Somebody else will take it. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
I kind of have a similar story. Not really. I don't know that I got the best of it, but I'm in this.
Well, I got the middle, so I got the best of it.
You definitely have the best of it. I'm in Mike Leah's fantasy football league. And we've been going for a long time. Keepers and everything. So when there's a 16-team league, most leagues are 12 teams.
Yep.
So you can imagine when you have a 16-team league, the lineups are super thin. Like you're getting scraping the bottom of the barrel on those last picks. Well, me and my partner, or Josh, we've been partners in this league for a while, and our team is so good in this 16-team league. We said to the entire field, we will lay 150 against anybody on total points for the season. Any of the other 15 teams will lay 150. We got one person. Tyler Patterson, actually, World Poker Tour champ. Tyler Patterson took us up on it. But no, one.
Wait, this is after the draft is done?
After our lineups are set, we looked at it.
Before anything's actually happened.
Before anything's happened,
like there's no games
before
played,
game one of the season.
Nobody's nothing.
And we actually had one of our top players, Keenan Allen, got injured for gone out for the season this year. But we're still. I mean, our team was just our keepers.
That's just whipping out taking off the belt and putting the balls on the table. Just like, we're better than you.
Josh is like, he wanted to lay 200. He goes, I'll lay anybody 200. And I'm like, well, back up a little bit.
Well, I mean, maybe he was right.
Maybe he's right because maybe you got only one person. And you can imagine, like the people in this league are, Mike Leah. These are poker. Casey Jardim. Like these are big time poker players, and only one of them jumped up.
I got it right on the screen, right in front of me. You can see it right there, Adam. Maximum bet 5K on Pinnacle.
I would bet
and the lines moved back to Hillary minus 200 and the field at 175.
I bet you could probably hit it a few times if you did it.
Yeah, but the line would move. Might move up.
I don't know
if
you're going to move the line. That's a pretty deep market right there. But anyway,
it is a deep market. It's interesting. But so I got in on the politics this week. So this is the first time.
It's your fault. It's your fault this
week.
Time
I didn't
for
bring
once.
It in.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
The other 51 weeks out of the year,
to block me on Twitter for talking politics.
51 weeks out of the year, it's you.
But you want to talk politics?
I'm not talking politics. I'm talking EV.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm talking EV. Hillary. I couldn't even. I could make this bet not knowing who Hillary Clinton was.
Many zeros.
Is that our fight for the week? Are we going to fight again on the show?
Dude, it was. I mean, okay, it was funny because the
somebody who made a good point said we were arguing different points, and I think they're absolutely right.
I want to pull up that post because I think that was a great post.
Yeah,
because we were just kind of. It was one of those conversations where we're not at each other, we're just sort of beside each other.
Right.
We both like didn't know two trains that go in 100 miles an hour and then they didn't actually crash into each other.
It's a train wreck.
I mean, I think it was Wilbury Twist, who's been on the forum for forever.
Sure.
And what he said is, I'm not going to read the whole thing. Head over to the Pokercast forums if you want to read the whole thing. And it's like, basically what he said was, Adam kept defending his position, talking about software in a general sense, i.e. not specifically talking about Ben's whatever it is. The problem with that stance is that the general sense is too wide and too varied to pin down as simply good or bad, or mostly good or mostly bad. That's where this discussion ultimately went. Terrence had in mind resources like PokerStove. Adam had in mind real-time situation analyzers. Terrence locked on in a place where poker software is a good thing. Adam locked on in a place where poker software is a bad thing. Borderline cheating, repeat ad infinitum. And that's what we do. I mean, it's like the two people shouting at clouds.
Old men.
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
that was
exactly
a great
what it
job.
was.
So
That's
we apologize for talking at each other
Yeah,
instead of
that
to
won't
each
happen
other.
again.
But no, I mean, hey, people.
It was entertaining.
People want to conflict, and it got people in the forums. Hello, like we were already. Where the show's only like 4 days old.
I knew that would happen.
Post number 21.
I knew that.
By the way, people are saying like, you guys friends still and fighting, and I'm like, we talk. That's kind of how we talk when we talk normally about issues.
Yeah, right.
Like that's what we do. I mean, that's what people do.
Right. Well, one of the things about
Yeah.
one of the things about poker is that we've both been around the game so long is that
we see things very
they tend to converge, right? But if we're talking about other shit, like just
we
daily, you know, who should play right wing on the Canucks, like that might be a different story, right?
Right.
Like, you know, yeah. So I mean, we are in fact different human beings. It's just that we've been, you know, poker. We've actually similar environments. We both grew up playing poker in Vancouver, and you know, we're online pros, we're live pros. Like we just kind of similar backgrounds. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad y'all hated or enjoyed the discussion.
One of the two. It was
from
polarizing.
Unethical Behavior Week.
Certainly polarizing.
That'll be it for the meta discussion.
September 12th. This is Pokercast 428. We're coming out. I think we did a show 4 days ago. I feel like it was 3 or 4 days ago.
Sounds about right.
We're gonna knock another one out here. We haven't done any. There's been lots of stuff to talk about, so we're gonna get to some of those things. As far as interviews go, we're gonna wait until we have one that you and I find interesting to do.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's.
If there's somebody out there, I mean, people loved the Ian interview. I'm so
yeah.
glad.
And
so
that
glad he
came from organically from
it
listeners.
came very
to
much
the show.
organically. So we're always still looking, even if it doesn't always look that way, and we don't always respond. If you have that suggest a guest
Please.
thread that's sticky at the top, you always fire one in there. If we didn't get to yours, feel free to suggest again. We're not 100%. Oh, that's not a sticky thread.
It's
anymore.
not. We should stick it. But if you have somebody, or you think there's a story out there that you think would make an interesting interview, feel free to email us, pokercast@2plus2.com. Post
Shout
it
out
in
in the
the
forums.
in the forums, whatever you want to do.
Live players are generally much bigger personalities.
Yeah, I agree.
Than online players.
I mean,
And that's not nobody's fault. It's just the fact that they're sitting beside.
I mean, I don't even know if that. I mean, online players obviously have this reputation of being super introverted, and you know they live in their mom's
said
basement
generally.
but yeah, I mean, obviously, and there's less of a distinction these days, right? Because so many of these online guys are playing 100Ks all around the world. You know, not this week. They're all sitting in front of their computer in their underwear,
Still playing 100Ks.
still playing 100Ks, but they're not in Barcelona partying
Right.
it up. They're not in Vegas. They're not in wherever.
I think
That'll
the other
happen.
thing is we don't really know too much about people who sit behind, so it's hard to find something to talk about or drive the conversation somewhere with an online guy. With a live guy that you see on TV talking all the time, you've got a lot of stuff to draw from.
Right. Absolutely.
So that makes it
So
difficult.
bottom line is, if you've got a guest, you know, then send it to me. This is, by the way, this is a relic of my weight cutting. I'm playing with this ring that
Falls
I wear
off?
all the time, and it always fits perfectly well on my right ring finger. I can basically
falls
like
off.
it's fallen off just like doing stuff like 5 times because my fingers are getting skinny.
Mood ring?
All
I'm
right.
getting smaller.
Let's jump into some in case you missed it.
How did he miss the open goal? 6x4, and he comes up 0. Oh no!
Oh, yes, he missed it.
He's missed it! How on earth did he miss that?
In case you missed it, the World Championship of Online Poker is cruising along. A lot of people in Vancouver here grinding away on the old Poker Stars. I think the marquee event this weekend, at least, was the 100K Super High Roller,
Yeah,
the
no
$100,000 buy-in.
Yep.
The biggest buy-in in the history of online poker went off, and 28 entries. I'm not sure. I think Talal Shakerchi entered a couple of times. I'm not 100% sure how many specific entries were there, but there were 28 entries all told, 2.8 million, obviously, and huge upset in the 100K when Feder Holtz didn't take it down.
He got close.
He effectively took it,
which was terrible for him.
He finished second,
And
but
they
he
split
still
the money.
he still got all the money. Like he still got his share of
They
the money.
split up the 2.2 million.
To what extent?
Pretty evenly,
To what extent
so-
it was, yeah. I mean, the guy you obviously have to feel for is Ike Hexton on this one. Did you?
I didn't see the bubble. It was apparently a pretty bad beat on the bubble.
Yeah, he shoved blind versus, or excuse me, they're on the bubble four-handed,
3-pair.
and it folds to Fedor. who shoves. I don't know how many big blinds, but he shoves with a 5-3 suited. Ike snap calls with 2 10s.
Oh no!
And it comes out a flush, I believe. I don't remember.
Federer runs. Are you saying Federer runs good?
Yeah, but I'm saying like anytime you got the 2 10s against the 5-3 suited on the bubble for a $500,000 bubble.
Gross.
That's Ike Hexton. Well, he said some mean things about them, so they fired up the doom switch on him.
Do you think he said "oh darn" when the beat? Does Ike smash his laptop? I don't see it. I
think there's a mild amount of disappointment. I think he probably frowned.
Crap.
And maybe. Yeah, I think that's about the right level. I think he.
That's about it.
I think he may or may not have sworn at a decibel volume that was kind of about your average living room television.
And then he went and did something else.
Yeah, exactly. And his hair might have got slightly messed up.
Ike's a little bit more cutting edge than people give him credit for.
Is.
I heard he smokes cigarettes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hollywood Haxton? Shout out Hollywood Haxton, by the way. He's smoking these days?
I heard he has been. He's been
All
seen. It's been cited.
That's not GTO.
Yeah, no, it's not. Five re-entries here.
5 re-entries.
Talashikari was one of them. Raid a
Jason
lot.
Mercier.
OTB Red Baron, True Teller, Jason Mercier, or 4 re-entries rather. So 4 people, and none of them cashed.
None of them
course,
cashed, so they're 200K. Yeah, that's crazy.
No stars payout on this one though. So three paid out of 28. They didn't pay 7 players in the 28 player field. So no EPT style payouts on this one.
Salman Ben-Banani came third for 560,000. Selfish B he plays with under.
He was happy when the 10s got cracked, I guess.
Oh, that's a pretty big hit for him. Yeah. All right. On let's stick with PokerStars when we move along to something else. PokerStars announced over the weekend that they are getting rid of the VIP program altogether for 2017.
They must have done this impressively well because I was on Twitter all weekend and it slipped right by me. I did not even notice this.
I think more details are going to come out, but basically from what I could tell, it was going to be, next year Supernova isn't going to be a thing.
Right.
It's going to be and your play across all the different platforms that PokerStars has now, BetStars, the casino, the poker site, are all going to count into how you generate rewards for your account coming up. So they're really driving more traffic again to the other verticals rather than poker.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody should be shocked by.
Right. So when you say 2017, it means it ends at the end of 2017. Like they're still honoring, people who make status in 2016 towards 2017.
I don't think statuses, and they've said that from the start.
Oh yeah,
don't carry over.
Right. Yeah,
so,
the statuses don't. Carry over.
And then there was pending more announcements, which they've now made.
Yep, slip that one in there.
Yeah, I don't see it as surprising after what happened last year with cutting off the Supernova Elite program and the carryover, etc. The drama that surrounded that, and the move to change really the way that site generates revenue. I don't think anybody should be surprised. How it's going to end up, how the games are going to end up at the after this is all played out, it's going to be interesting. I don't know that it's going to be worse. There's certainly the rewards for the high volume players are going to be worse, but maybe the games are better. They've pointed to a lot of stats that have said there's more flops seen. Casual players are having their money last longer, and they think it's an overall improvement to the economy. I didn't see any of the numbers or anything released, so I don't know that we've got to take their word for it at this point. But as far as the games, I haven't dug deep into the numbers.
Yeah, you have to kind of take their word for it. I mean, I don't think that they would make up statistics. On the other hand, they might be cherry picking them.
Cherry pick them, sure.
So that's always the issue with statistics is you just sort of like look at the ones that work in your favor.
Yeah.
I was thinking though, can you think of an industry leader, like a dominant industry leader?
Monopoly, really.
Yeah, like something in PokerStars. I mean, I wouldn't call PokerStars a monopoly. I would say they're a dominant industry leader. Monopoly implies that they have something that no walls could break down, and we have a new sponsor that is attempting to break down those walls. But can you think of a dominant market leader in this way? A Coca-Cola or a 1999 Microsoft that does offer any kind of loyalty program? I really kind of scratch my brain and try to think of somebody who's got like 80+% of a market and has a loyalty program, because if you look at most loyalty programs, they're in fairly competitive, large company, like oligopolies, not monopolies. So you look at airlines, right, and you look at supermarkets in a general area. You in any kind of big city,
Absolutely.
you've got 5 or 6 supermarkets. These are the kinds of businesses that lend themselves. I can't think of anyone, and maybe somebody will write in there and tell me one. But who's got 80% of the market share plus and has a rewards program? I mean, I can't think of anybody.
If you can't think of something and we can't think of it, jump into the thread and let us know. In case you missed it, and the 2016 Poker Hall of Fame nominations were announced. Ross, can you please read our prepared statement on this?
Official statement.
Adam and Terrence acknowledge that Caesars Hall of Fame nominations were announced this week following a backroom meeting by Caesars execs, where they threw darts at a wall of poker players' pictures to determine who would be up for this joke of a Hall of Fame. Doyle's getting old, and he completely forgot to email everyone at Caesars to nominate his old Texas road gambling buddy, Jim Two Shakes Scroggins. So he'll have to wait until next year. Adam and Terrence will not comment further until Esai is nominated in a future year.
Thank you, Roscoe. Well done. All right, let's move on. In case you missed it, Andre Akari, sponsored by Puma, which I thought was awesome. Is this like the biggest deal outside sponsorship for a poker player that we've seen come along?
I'm trying to think. I mean,
Helmuth ate burgers on TV once or something.
Milwaukee's Best Light.
Yeah,
Phil Ivey was on like a Chevy commercial.
Yeah,
that's
true.
right. That was a big one.
But this is that's a one-off, right?
Yeah.
This is sort of they signed him to a deal like they signed soccer stars in Brazil that he's all buddies with.
Poker in Brazil.
He's huge. And are you big in Japan? Or the old joke, of course, from the 80s. But he is big. He's huge in Brazil. He's a big superstar.
Yeah, it's really impressive. And of course, the Brazilians love their poker and their poker culture. Just super enthusiastic. So that's great to see. I honestly had no idea he was that big in Brazil. I mean, I could have guessed. Obviously, he's the biggest Brazilian poker star, but I never would have guessed. That's really cool.
Yeah, poker in Brazil is a cool thing. I'm happy to announce my new sponsor. Welcome to the incredible poker world at Puma, which was his tweet out. Fantastic news, and hopefully that brings in some more sponsorship for Brazilian players and everybody around the world. All right, that's going to do it for In Case You Missed It. Coming up after the break, we've got a bunch of emails to get to. You're listening to the 2+2 Pokercast, presented by RunItOnce.com. Talk to you soon.
Sharkscope.com is the tournament tracking software that tracks players' online statistics, including yours. You want to know who the sharks are so you can avoid them? Head on over to Sharkscope and they'll give you 5 free searches a day. And if you log in with your Facebook account, they'll double it to 10 free searches a day. One search could help you avoid a trap that might just win you a tournament. Go to Sharkscope.com and register for an account and then start searching. It's that easy. Sharkscope.com, the best online tournament tracking for over 10 years. Track your statistics, avoid the sharks, and find easier tournaments at Sharkscope.com.
Hey, T-Chan here. Now that you've been listening to me and Adam give you the latest news in the poker world, it's time for you to give your 2 cents. So come hang out with the rest of the Pokercast Nation on the forums at pokercast.2plus2.com. There you can leave feedback about the show, give the world your hot takes on this week's stories, or just leave Roscoe your best sports betting advice. He needs the help. That's the forums at pokercast.2plus2.com. The best part? It's available no matter how many miles you are from Kells.
Hey, poker fans, don't forget about the 2plus2.com digital magazine. Each month, a wide array of poker professionals and media write fascinating articles about the game you love. Want to learn about big blind versus small blind hand ranges? How about optimal Jeopardy daily double strategy? Topics like those and many others are covered every month. Head on over to 2plus2.com to see what the magazine has to offer this month.
Welcome back to the 2+2 Pokercast, presented by RunItOnce.com. I forgot to mention last week when we were talking about the whole Alex Dreyfus, Federholz thing, there was one of the best posts of the whole year on 2+2 that I saw in that thread. And it said, it was simple. It said, leave it to Fed, and this is paraphrasing because I don't have it in front of me, leave it to Feder to bank a 5% return when he gets scammed. Which was
that is pretty epic.
Perfect.
That is amazing.
Federholz gets scammed, gets a 5% return.
Yeah,
on his
I've
money.
lent money to people where I get just the 5% back.
0%.
Yeah, I mean, certainly I don't want to admit to those ones, but yeah, there's been one where like the guy lends you $1,000, like I've got like 90 on me right now. You can have that. I'm like, I'll take it.
Yeah, why
that's
not?
the last time you ever hear from the guy again, and you're no longer friends on Facebook anymore after that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's get to the mailbag.
And now.
That right there is the mail. Now let's talk about the mail. Can we talk about the mail, please, Malcolm? I'm dying to talk about the mail with you all day, okay?
Mailbag. Email number 1.
Heyo! What's up, guys? It's your boy Brady. I'm back. Just calling from the far north again. Just wanted to clarify a couple things. I kind of botched that last call on my question. So I just want to clarify for you. And so basically, just with Shuck 2, the most important thing that I forgot, which was like a really critical piece of information, was that the game is played high-low. And I really wanted your guys' thoughts on the fact that it's pot limit high-low, which is kind of all the limit games I normally play are going to be limit. And so I'll clarify, it's a six-card stud variant. You're dealt 2 cards down, 1 up, and then 3 more streets with 4 up cards total. And then that's when you have the option to shuck 2. And as you guys suspected, you can shuck any 2 combinations, so any down cards, any up cards. So if you choose to shuck a down and an up, you're going to get 1 down and 1 up. If you shuck 2 up, you're going to get 2 up. And anyway, so totally changes the game because it's played high-low. And so obviously that's going to change the strategy a ton, hidden full houses lose their value, that kind of thing. So anyway, love to get your thoughts on that. Second thing I wanted to talk about was the Pokercast karma is absolutely a real thing. I called on break last week, and I ended up chopping 3 ways. So ship the run good my way.
That's correct.
LOL document. Insert drop there. Actually, it's more like a shipment, but anyway. So a situation came up that I wanted to bring up. It was kind of a moral compass type situation that I was curious to get your guys' thoughts on. Usually there's 3 tables in the tournament. I end up at one of the tables in seat 5 is my table draw, and the gentleman to my right he has a nice guy, younger guy, terrible vision. He's got these Coke bottle glasses. I don't know if he's legally blind, but he's probably pretty close. If he's not, he basically has to have like the board read out to him by the dealer, and he always has to, he asks several times when he's in a big pot or whatever. So it's clear that he can't really read the board. So, which not a big deal. Sometimes it can be kind of awkward, whatever, but normally not a problem. However, this night, because his vision is so bad, when he looks at his cards, he actually picks them up off the table, which is obviously super tilting anyway. But so he picks them up and he gets like real close, face really close to him and looks at him like for, I don't know, at least 10 seconds. And every time he did this, he would just show me his cards. And I have like my vision.
Maybe that's a good spot to get it off.
You got sick of that call?
I think we know where we're going.
We know what Brady was getting to there. Okay, first let's talk about. Are we still recording?
Yeah, we're still recording. It just
go.
It just stopped. So
take it away.
Sorry,
okay.
Brady. It must be your phone. It must be the Alaskan cell reception.
So some clarification. Shuck 2 is pot limit.
Yeah, let's talk about 6-card stud. Pot limit high-low, where you can pitch any of your combination of your down cards and up cards after 6th street, and you will get a similar down card and up card combination.
So my first impression is flush boards are really, really powerful because you can play both ways.
Yeah.
High and low.
Right.
So if you have 3 of your 4 cards are a suit, wow, you have a big hand. I mean, obviously you can hit the flush and there's 6 cards and you can draw to your flush and also make a low. So you're going to have a big advantage when you're drawing to flushes. like Brady was saying, buried full houses and stuff obviously go down in value. Unless you're showing maybe a low board and the buried full house looks almost like a low, then you can get away with maybe.
Yeah,
you're gonna have a hard time there too because you gotta have a pair on board. Like it's tough.
There also creates the thing that I thought of was that there are some interesting bluffing situations when you are low on board and something like that when you have some low suited cards on board and then you pitch on the end, and then even if you miss your low, you can still represent the high, and you can still bomb it, and the other guy may actually fold a low because he doesn't know you don't have him scooped both ways, or and even in some circumstances, sort of the other way, right? When say you've got 3-3 deuce on board or something 3-3 deuce 5 on board or something, you could potentially only have like ace 6 for low or something like that, but you might get a hand to fold thinking, worried that you might have a full house or worried that like people will clearly fold like 2 pair or something like that if you have a board looking like that.
So paint cards go way down in value.
Yeah, I mean as we all know in
but even more
in high-low games.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, paint cards definitely go down. I mean, I've never played a lot of stud pot limit high-low. Obviously, I don't think most people have, but yeah, you don't want to start with paint for sure.
No.
I mean, roll-ups, that might be one thing, but even roll-ups, like the thing is that if you start rolled up, you're clearly not pitching any of your 2 down cards, right? So
right,
so you're very much marked for a high hand.
You got rolled up deuces, it's huge.
Yeah, if you have rolled, exactly. But if you have like a queen and you just have rolled up queens, well, by the end of the hand, everybody's gonna know what you have. So that's our advice on that. So let's talk about the situation.
The ethical situation with somebody showing you their cards. So that I've had this happen. We've all had this happen a ton.
If you played a significant amount of live poker,
it's happened to you. Yeah. My thing is, I tell them as soon as it happens to me, look, I can see your cards. Do a better job preventing your cards. After that, I'm sorry. I've told you. I can see your cards. I'm not going to go peeking and looking for them, but if I'm going to play like I normally play, and if your cards you keep showing to me, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have the exact same policy. You get told the first time, and then subsequently you don't.
But this situation is different because this guy literally, it's not a mistake out of I'm an idiot and I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. It's he literally can't see his hand.
I feel like, I mean, you can hold your cards up to your face and shield them with your free hand in a way that, I mean, it might be harder for something like Omaha, but in Hold'em, you should be able to shield your cards to the point where you can bring them right up to your face and nobody else can see them.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I guess I just want to
There's also
protect
those
this guy.
devices. I don't know if you've ever played with somebody like this. He had like a gigantic magnifying glass that's like on the table, and
never seen that.
It might be by the size of my phone, and it's just got like a raised platform, and it's got like magnifying through glasses. So he looks at his cards the normal way, but he's looking through this lens that just greatly magnifies the card, and that I thought was the best solution for being terribly poor-sighted.
That does work. So for this guy though, I want to protect him more than I want to prect a guy who's just being an idiot, because this guy's old. He can't see.
He's not old, actually. He said he's a young guy.
Oh, did he? Sorry,
he said he was a young guy who was just a terrible vision.
But I mean, he's got these vision problems. So I want to put him on the end seat if possible.
The one or the 9, you mean?
I mean, it sounds like maybe there's 3 tables. I don't know if they're circular or if they're actual poker tables.
I think the 1 or the 9 makes sense.
The 1 or the 9, or
because that way he can just screen his cards towards the dealer. The dealer doesn't give a shit.
Use the dealer.
Exactly.
I also want to ask the house if they can buy cards that have the big numbers on them.
Yep.
Hey guys, could you go out of your way and pick up? It's got cost me $10 to buy some more decks or whatever it costs. Those are the things I do, and I'd also go out of my way more to tell this guy that he was showing me.
You're a good man, A. Schwartz. Quick showing my card story one time. With the World Series, this was forever ago, and you'll know it because the other person in the story is Mimi Tran.
Okay.
So it's folded around to me, and I think I have like ace deuce or something not very good in the cutoff, and I raise.
I think that's the Hoyt Corkinson who had ace deuce. No, sorry. Yeah. Bringing you back a bad memory. All right, sorry.
I got to fight in 4 days, but I can make something happen now.
You still right.
No, I mean, So I've got some stealing hand basically, and Mimi's on the button on my immediate left, and I raise, and she thinks her second, and then she folds. Everybody else folds, and then Mimi says, "I don't know why, but I saw your hand. You had like ace deuce or whatever I had." He said, "Like I don't know why. I don't know why. I looked at your hand and then I decided like it wasn't right for me to re-raise you.
Oh wow.
She had ace 10. She says she claims she has ace 10. And she just told me, yeah, I have ace 10. I fold, but I don't know why. I just look at your hand when you're looking at your hand. And I thought that was like really stand-up of her. I mean, 90% of the time I'm pretty good about looking at my cards. But I mean, everybody gets lazy once in a while.
I'm going to say I don't believe her. If she had ace 10 and you had ace deuce, and she saw your hand.
Yeah, I don't know that I had ace deuce, but I definitely didn't have better than ace 10.
Okay.
I had, I mean, maybe I had
king queen or something.
Yeah, maybe I had 2 4s or something.
Right.
You know, I had something. Yeah, maybe it wasn't a dominating hand.
Anyway, sorry, you wanted to.
But yeah, no, man. But that's pretty much the story. Like I thought that because guys who have been around for a while, or people who are poker players who have been around for a while, know that Mimi has a reputation, and there are people who don't like her. So I always tell people that story because I thought that was, you know, one of the more honest things that's ever happened to me at a poker table. Like she knows whatever I had, I wasn't very strong. That is what I do remember, and she would have blown me off the hand unless I flopped big.
Gotcha.
Right.
I used to play with a guy at the casino in Vancouver. He didn't have like mobility in his hands, so the dealer had to deal the cards and put them on the
right at
the leather.
Yep.
They put them on the leather so they were leaning up, and then he would have to use just like 2 fingers to pick them up. It was a process, but
like I got to play. It's cool that they do that.
Never saw his cards.
Yeah, I mean that's the great thing about poker is that, you know, we've had blind players at the player table.
Right.
I played with Halabarsky this year.
There's the guy on World Series, I think. He had to use his feet.
Oh yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Did a great job too.
Yeah.
Email number 2.
Jason Dick writes, hey guys, thanks as always for the Pokercast. I want to confess that I have stolen the "ooh, fuck yeah, bud," and the "did this dude just do that?" drop from my radio show in Austin, Texas. Don't hate me.
Did this dude just did this?
When facing a raise in tournaments, I'll often ask my opponent how many chips they have, only to have them reply that they have me covered, as if that's the only pertinent information. I often just dismiss this as a mistake by a non-thinking player, but I recently saw the grinder do it on a WPT Tournament of Champions final table. I have to assume he knows better. Moreover, this was a shot clock event, and Grinder's opponent, in fact, did time out without ever learning his stack. Is this an angle? Could it be abused in shot clock tournaments?
Fuck yeah, bud.
By the way, because Jason was too lazy to do so, I looked it up and saw he's 12,743,103 lengths of a football from Kells in Austin, by the way.
An American football or
American football.
or the round kind, the long kind.
No, an American
the
football.
round.
The
long.
It's Texas. That's what they
the
play
long,
there.
Not yeah, but they don't play that in Kells.
They don't. But
So I mean, the official unit of measurement could be either. You know what I mean?
Oh well, I did it from the originating email, so I didn't do it to.
I see.
Yeah, we got to start in Austin.
How that
that's
works.
what they have a lot of footballs there.
Okay.
All right. That's a good call. I never really thought of that with the shot clock. I've certainly thought about it with respect to it happening at the table.
Sure, it happens all the time.
But in respect to the shot clock, that could be considered something that could be an issue.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I think that you do sort of have the right to know what the other guy's playing. That is relevant information. So yeah, I mean, I would think in a shot clock tournament you should be able to like get a count from the other guy. But the problem is, how much do you abuse it, right? Like, you know, can you just, you know, take your time and then ask, oh, how much has he got? And it doesn't matter, right? Like say the stacks are 1 million, 1 million, 1 million, and 19 million.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you just ask the guy with 19 million, you go like, how much you playing? And we need to get like, he's got 19,125,000, right? Like, is that like really necessary? So it brings up a good point, and the shot clock solution, that's why it's, even though I'm a big proponent, I'm a big fan, it's not a perfect solution, and this is one of the good reasons why. With respect to the actual, you know, the actual question of, you know, does it matter, how, you know, when you ask somebody, you know, if I'm asking you how much you got and you tell me I have you covered, for me personally, that's a perfectly acceptable answer in like 98% of situations.
Because I can look and see my chips are 1/3 of yours. I got a rough idea. I don't need to know their 0.38 of your stack, right?
Yeah, and most of the time, unless you're playing in a super satellite, unless you're right on the bubble, unless the pay jumps are something utterly bizarre like the Colossus was this year, or no, not the Colossus, the Millionaire Maker. Yeah, Millionaire Maker. Unless it's something dumb like that, it mostly doesn't matter. It you know, it doesn't matter if I've got 130,000 and you have 150,000. That's enough for.
So as long as we have the big chips out front,
yeah,
you should be able to eyeball how what generally what your stack represents.
Yeah, and the weird thing is that most people know about what they have anyway. Like it's rare. I mean, I guess I play in bigger buy-in tournaments, and maybe this doesn't happen in the games that Jason's in, but I rarely encounter people that don't know how much they're playing.
Yeah.
Unless they just won a huge pot or just lost a huge pot. But even still, I've seen guys like win a huge pot and like. If I'm the second biggest stack at the table or I'm the first biggest and it looks like that guy might now have me, I may be like, how much do you have now? And he'll usually say, I think about 650, 700, like he'll have some kind of idea. But yeah, I mean, the general answer is like, you shouldn't just say, I have you covered. You should generally just answer the question. But it's also, as the guy asking the question, you don't really normally need that level of detail.
James, by the way, Jason has a radio show in Austin, Texas. He does the morning show on the local thing. Yeah, so they have a podcast on their website.
Oh yeah, he just said he stole our drops.
He stole our drops for the show. It's cool.
Cool. Well, our lawyers will be in contact shortly.
Email number 3.
This one is James. He writes in from Mississauga. Hey, Adam, Terrence, and Ross. Loving the new format of the show. The shorter format has created episodes where there is little news to discuss and allows for more time spent on listener content. I guess that's what he's referring to as his own email right now. So it's a kind of pat on the back. Thought I'd contribute with a question about Terrence's training routine. What is his sex like during the training camp and the days leading up to this event?
Violent.
Well, Ross, that's between you and me, so we don't need to talk about that. I recall a sports science episode where they measured a female boxer's performance with and without sex the night prior. The result of the experiment was that sexual activity prior actually improved performance. Curious to hear Terrence's thoughts and opinion on the subject. I totally understand if he does not want to share this part of his life, and because James was too lazy to do so. Adam, of course, looked it up again. 52,160,000 participation ribbons from Cal's.
You get that? Mississauga, the Leafs, every year they get the participation, the ribbon. They participated. Thanks for coming.
In the AHL. We're getting American Hockey League references.
No. I was referring to the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's from a suburb of Toronto, they suck. So.
Gotcha. Yeah. We're in a position to talk about other hockey teams sucking. Yeah, I'll answer the question, mostly because my girlfriend's not home.
She's not here?
Won't be here for about another 5 minutes. But, it's actually true. I think there's always everybody's watched the first Rocky, and Mickey's always telling Rocky, and no women, they weaken, I don't remember what the line is. Yeah, they weaken the legs, I think is what Mickey says. And that was sort of the popular wisdom for a really long time, I think, in not just sports, like not just combat sports, but regular sports. And then I think I remember reading quite a while ago, some Swiss science discovered it. It turns out it's a myth. And now the most recent evidence is actually kind of like James pointed out, that sex actually increases testosterone levels. So having sex will increase your testosterone levels basically 7 days after the fight. It was a really weird thing. Wow. It's a spike that occurs exactly 7 days. Not 6, not 8, but 7 days after the sexual event. The other funny part about this is you can look this up too, but masturbation does not provide that testosterone boost. So somehow your body actually knows whether you're getting it on with an actual woman or human, I guess. I don't know about whether it's heterosexual.
Could it be one of those life like dolls?
Yeah, there's got to be a way to trick your body.
I think we need another study.
That sounds like a study.
I think Adam needs to head off to the university and.
What about a fleshlight?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like I don't know where exactly the line is, and we're all living
3D Oculus Rift porn.
Right. We're all living in a simulation anyway, so
that's right.
In the end, we're all simulated beings anyway. None of us are real, so maybe it doesn't matter. But I mean, my personal sex life is honestly it's much better when I'm not training for a fight because I'm just not tired. It's exhausting. Forrest Griffin, who used to be the UFC
played the main event
champion.
1 year.
Yeah, played the main event 1 year.
Like a day after his fight.
The day after his fight, and limped into every pod or whatever. Gave Johnny Chan all his ships. He wrote about this, and it's basically everybody thinks pro fighters, we live this rock star lifestyle, and we're banging chicks all the time and stuff like that. He's like, at the end of the day, I'm so exhausted by my training session. If I can get it up for my wife or my girlfriend, I'm thrilled about that. And I'll say that sex is generally the non-training days.
Yeah,
it's not. It's yeah.
Before we get to the next email, I just want to bring a quick note from our sponsor. Sharkscope.com is the tournament tracking software that tracks players' online statistics, including yours. Do you want to know who the sharks are so you can avoid them? Head on over to Sharkscope, and they'll give you 5 free searches each day. And if you log in using your Facebook account, they'll double it to 10 free searches a day. One search could help you avoid that trap that just might win you a tournament. Go to Sharkscope.com and register for an account, and then start searching. It's just that easy. Sharkscope.com, the best online tournament tracking software for over 10 years. Track your statistics, avoid the sharks, and find easier tournaments at Sharkscope.com.
Email number.
Okay, it's hilarious, and it wasn't scripted. People can think this was supposed to... This is like I put it in directly. This just organically happened in this order. Jack emails in, and the title of the email is Negranu looks like the MILF Hunter. And the entire email is probably cousins, honestly. And then he sent in 2 pictures, one side by side of the MILF Hunter and one of Negranu. And
it's creepy. So
it's so creepy.
I don't know. I'm not into MILF porn, I gotta say. I don't know who the MILF Hunter is, and I had to open it.
I don't know this guy
I had
either,
to Google it in an incognito window to find out. But he's obviously a porn star. And
he looks exactly like Negranu.
He hasn't been
really
around
scary.
for a long time,
The picture that he sent is like he's got no shirt on, and he's got like a hairy chest, and he's cocked back, and the picture. We're gonna post it in the thread. So Ross, make a note, and we'll put a link to that. It's a safe for work picture. It's such a headshot, and like the top of his torso. He's got his tongue sticking out. He's got like this dirty gotea. He looks like a porn star. Yeah. He basically or an '80s pro wrestler. He also looks like
could be Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about Bam Bam.
Okay, it could be Bam Bam.
Face tattoos, but he kind of looks like a lot of the guys who are pro wrestlers. I mean, you got a little bit of Mr. Perfect in him.
That could be, yeah.
Maybe Texas Tornado.
Tornado.
Yeah. He looks a lot like Daniel. There'll be a side-by-side shot that Ross will pull up. So that's more reason to jump into the Pokercast 428 show thread. It's both hilarious and
creepy.
Also. Yeah, it just weirds me. I gotta scroll away from. I gotta scroll down on my screen right now.
Didn't the MILF Hunter give Kimbo Slice his debut, or like he was?
Did he really?
Kimbo Slice was the MILF Hunter's bodyguard in Florida.
Oh, I knew that Kimbo.
Yeah.
I knew that Kimbo Slice was a porn bodyguard. I didn't know that he was.
It was this guy.
Okay,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
wow. Like he needs a bodyguard.
Boy, are you a fountain of information? That's a piece of trivia.
Is he getting attacked by MILFs all the time? Like, what does
I don't
he need
know.
a bodyguard for?
I'm sure there's some angry husbands out there.
That's true.
Florida's an open carry state, so
yeah. I would want a dude like Kimbo protecting me too if I was banging other dudes' wives.
Email number.
It's number 5.
Cody says, I've been a fan of your podcast since the Rounders days. Keep up the good work. I tried the cold showers for about a week until I realized you guys are running the biggest troll in podcast history by convincing your listeners to take cold showers. Admit it, you and Terrence bet that you could convince people to take cold showers. The jig is up. I'm on to you guys. Is there any way to stream Terrence's fight online? Ross has to get back to playing live poker for some more awesome Ross reports. I'm sticking to my cold shower story.
Still doing the cold showers?
Still doing them. Doing them this week. Absolutely. It's great for recovery. You can stream the fight online at battlefieldfl.com. It's Battlefield Fight League.
How much?
I don't know, $10. It's cheap. If you do that, do me a favor and tweet at BattlefieldFL. Let them know that you're buying a pay-per-view. I don't get any money from it, but it's nice to be when people tweet at them and let them.
You're
know
driving traffic.
They're purchasing pay-per-view. Yeah, I mean, this is how you get fights. Unfortunately, until you're actually a big deal in the fight world, then it's not always easy to get cards. But this is a way I like to sort of brand myself and market myself. I don't do it in any poker. I don't do it for anything else. But I want to get fights. So
I hope we can get this lineup on Pinnacle.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, let's get the lineup on Pinnacle with like a 10K max.
How about BetStars?
That's what I said.
Is where
I said it needs to be on BetStars for real.
Right.
I was so disappointed that it's not on BetStars. So yeah, BattlefieldFL.com, or if you look at Battlefield Fight League on Facebook.
I'm gonna have to bring a laptop to this wedding, set it up like next to the buffet.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
And you got to go back to playing live poker to make Cody happy.
Right. Yeah. We'll see about that. I'd like to.
Email number
6.
Graham writes from Sydney, Australia. Hey guys, new listener to the show over the last few months. loving the frequent format. A group of friends of mine are planning a PLO home game soon, and was hoping to get a little bit of advice on how to make it a successful night.
The most you can bet a race is the size of a pot.
We're all primarily competent Texas No Limit Hold'em players, but I'm pretty sure we're all going to be guessing a lot with regards to starting hands and strategy. It has the potential to become a wild night, having played some microstakes PLO online years ago and knowing how crazy things can get. Would welcome some suggestions to ensure that we have a fun night. Thanks. I think one suggestion obviously is tell everybody the rules. You need to use 2 cards in PLO.
That was going to be my first one.
If they don't know already, please inform them of that. But I think my suggestion would be to keep the blinds small relative to stacks. So if you're playing with $20 stacks, don't have a 1-2 game. Have like a 10-cent, 20-cent game, so you can play a bunch of stuff after the flop.
Yeah.
Make it
deep. Yeah.
Make it deepish compared to what your starting stack is going to be. That would be my one.
Mississippi Straddle.
No, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, don't bring that until you've played it a few times.
Yeah, I mean, you might want to educate some of the weaker players, don't play disjointed hands. King Jack 8-4 is not a hand, but 8-7-6.
Or at least
is.
Apologize if you raise with that
exactly,
one. Yeah.
Under the gun.
And remember the rule that the most you can raise is 3 times the last bet plus the rest of the pot.
There you go.
Yeah. Pre-flop anyway.
Yeah, pre-flop.
Yeah.
Good. So have some fun, Graham. Because Graham was too lazy to do so, I looked it up. He's 13,764,000 Barbies from Kells.
You're really on this week.
By the way,
you just refuse to let people get away with how far from Kells they are.
All right, from one guy, a new listener, Graham, to an old listener.
Is this an email?
Is saying, no, this is a post in the questions and comments for the show. Pete's Got Aces has been listening and playing poker for a long time, and he is sad to say it, but his time in the poker industry is coming to an end.
Yeah, I saw that thread just this afternoon. I saw this post in that thread. I was like, wow, he's an OG of the forum.
He is,
so
and
sad to see. Here you go, Pete's Got Aces. If you're out there listening at all to this week's show.
You probably bailed on us already, but if you haven't, farewell, Pete. I know you've been around for a long time, and thank you for listening to the show.
Post number 200 in that thread, by the way.
That is number 200.
Send questions and comments.
Yeah.
He went out. He nailed it.
He went out with a bang. So farewell, sir, and thanks for listening. All right, so that's going to do it, I think, this week. We're going to get some hands and stuff on the next show. Hopefully, maybe an interview if we find something interesting to bring at you. Terrence, you got a lot of prep going on for the fight. I don't know if we'll get one in before.
We could.
We'll see if we
maybe
can
do one on Wednesday. I'm down for that. Thursday, I will be. I will
weighing
be sweating. No, Friday's the weigh-in, but it's Friday at noon. Don't know exactly where. It's somewhere not too far away. But it's Friday. So Thursday night, I'm going to be miserable.
Oh God!
It's weight cut day. It's always the worst day of your week.
Yeah.
Of your year. you know, whatever. That's the day where I'm going to go from 134-ish pound man to 125-pound-ish man.
Ouch.
And mostly water.
Mostly water. Well, I mean, just you can't burn fat in that time. So
right.
So what are you going to do after you weigh in? Directly after? Is it right off to the Burger King drive-through? Whoppers.
No, he's still got to fight.
Yeah, I was like, that's a good way to make yourself. I do know people have done that. They even then, even the people who are really out of line, tend to go all you can eat sushi or something like that. But no, it'll be it'll pretty low fat, high carbohydrate kind of stuff. Honestly, for the first 6 hours, it'll be like sugar water. So essentially,
really?
like a Gatorade style mix. Because basically, I haven't touched a carbohydrate. I haven't looked at a carbohydrate since Thursday. So my body's completely there's no glucose, there's no sugar in here. And MMA is a sport that needs a lot of sugar. So I'm basically gonna put some creatine. A lot of actually what you're doing is rehydrating. So they sell Pedialyte at the store. You've got kids.
Oh God.
Yeah.
No, I've had it.
Yeah. You've had it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So when you get
Stuff
really
is
dehydrated or you have diarrhea, they give you Pedialyte because it's got electrolytes. It's got some sugar in it. That's kind of the best thing. It'll be a solution sort of similar to that. And then probably 5 hours, 6 hours later, have some solid food, have some fish, have some meat, have some potatoes, that kind of thing.
Fly at it. Roscoe, maybe we should bring the equipment to MJ's having a party.
Well, I can't come to the fight.
Oh, you're at a wedding, aren't you?
You're just trolling Ross.
He's
He's missing my day for one of his friends' days.
So it seems like his friend is more important than you.
It does seem that way. And not only that, Ross has never worn a suit to one of my fights.
I hope that get to go to your next fight.
There'll be more fights. This guy's
right.
only getting married once. You're having lots of fights.
We don't know he's only getting married.
Yeah.
Have you looked at statistics?
Okay, well, in the second wedding is going to be
I hope the second wedding isn't before the next fight.
And if the second wedding is on the same night as the fight, you can just not go to the second wedding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, unless it's for a title.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know that chick.
But yeah, we can. We can do one the day after the fight.
Let's see if we can do one after the fight. That might be the way to go Sunday.
I've got a quick tweet here.
Oh, what do you got?
Anthony Zinno tweeted that apparently LinkedIn, the co-founder, pledged to donate $5 million to Trump if he released his tax returns. And Anthony Zinno said this is a very impressive $5 million bluff.
Yep, it is.
Yeah, well, he knows he's probably not going to get called. Yeah, I think
he's not going to release them.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's a good one for sure. It was Dmitry Urbanovich took down a World Championship online poker event. I was going to say Anthony did, but no, it was Dmitry. All right, again, that's going to wrap it up. Good luck to you in your fight, and we'll probably have a show coming at you right after. We'll talk about it then. Talk to you soon.
Bye.